What do my gente, your boys coming through once again, and on today's video we're gonna talk about two major events that took place in Mexico this week, in where one of them, one of the main individuals of the cartel, the Sinaloa, became alive. The other one, the other second event, it happened in prison, man. But I'm not gonna tell you yet until we get to that story. But it's basically like this: is for those who are locked up in the U.S., you're gonna see how lucky you are, man. If you think you guys are playing with knives and stuff like that, man, that's wonderful. Right here, they're on some other level. And when I heard this story, man, it made me think of Cesar Hernandez. He traded a prison from the U.S. to a prison of Mexico just for 4 months of freedom. So before we continue with this video, do not forget to hit the like, a comment, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, hit the subscribe button. You're just helping the channel, and I do highly appreciate it, man. So let's get to this story, right? So first of all, the Perris, right? The Perris became the boss of the seguridad, of security of the cartel Los Chapos, right? This individual came into that position, I believe, in November of 2024 when El Mini, I'm pretty sure a lot of individuals might be familiar with El Mini, who end up getting locked up. They got busted. The federal government got them. And after that, the Perris came in. Now, the thing about the Perris is that it was said that probably like two or 3 months ago, he turned on his bosses. They said that this individual actually gave information to the government. And because of this information, three high-ranking individuals got caught, right? Got locked up. Right now they're in prison. But the thing of the Perris, nobody knew about the Perris, right? I don't know if he was still in command. I don't know what position he had, but one thing is that those rumors had been put out there, and apparently the military found them. They went to the safe house, and they started getting in a shootout. This shootout, I believe three Army individuals, three Marines, end up getting hurt. Don't quote me. Some people say three, some people say five, some people say two, but I think it's three. At the end of the day, somebody got hurt, right? And eventually, he was trying to surrender, and they wouldn't let him surrender. Basically, they unalived him. They showed up pictures of old boy laying down, lifeless, and that's how he ended his career. The position only lasted like six months, and that was it, man. It's crazy how individuals want to seek that life and see what happens, man. This individual's life, his life span got hella small just by taking that position. Everybody wants to get that position. Everybody wants to have be recognized of holding a big position. But at the end of the day, once you hold those big positions, you have a target, and this individual's target got hit, and he's no longer with us, right? Now, the next story, man, this has tripped me out when I came across this. It was basically a shootout inside a prison in Mexico. This happened in Sinaloa, in where I guess they call them compounds. I'm assuming it's gonna be buildings, and where buildings, I believe, 6 and 8, or five and 8, which help the individuals from the Chapiza. Basically, got in a shootout, or were shooting at individuals from they were part of El Mayo crew. Can you imagine? First of all, how these individuals got guns behind prison, and they were not just handguns. These were rifles. They were rifles, and there's a shootout. There's videos, where people are hiding in the hospital, in prison. The employees and stuff like that. They're scared, and they're just going at it, just blasting their building, blasting whatever their compound is, and bringing terror inside those walls. So at this point, man, it's like, okay, why these individuals are in prison then? if they got the weapons to actually get out if they want to. And there has been stories in where they let these individuals out at a certain time so they can do what they have to do out on the streets. And after they're done, they just come back to prison again. You know, we have heard those stories before. And I'm pretty sure on this occasion, on this prison, possibly that's what was going on, man. Because for somebody to have a AR-15 or whatever he had in his cell, and not only one, it was a couple of them. You know, it was a shootout. I believe the other side also responded, but that's a scary ass situation to actually work in a place like that, even where basically the inmates are running the show, where they got guns and they're doing whatever they want. Why? Because they got the money. I just can't believe they brought in guns in the institution. And for what I know, for what I heard, there were some individuals who became unalive because of this. And I don't know what the government is gonna do, right? Because that is a very embarrassing. That's a very embarrassing situation that you can't get out of it. You know, individuals gonna get fired, and all for what? Because there was a shootout inside prison. And right here made me think about Cesar Hernandez, right? How he traded his Delano cell for a Mexican cell, right? Just because of what? 4 months of freedom. And at the end of the day, it's like, was it really worth it? Was it really worth it? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he's going through it. One thing in the U.S., people worry about the politics, about the stabbings, about all of that stuff. But now imagine worry about getting in a shootout or actually having somebody walking along the hallway taking out inmates. Because there's been stories in where they have done this in different in a different prison, and where inmates of the if I'm not mistaken, it was the Zetas. You know, they had weapons. They started looking for their enemies inside prison, and they went cell by cell, unaliving those guys. What can you do? You know, what can you do? Where can you go? Can't go nowhere, man. So it is a reminder, man. It is a reminder of actually to let us know how lucky we are, man. When I seen this story, I was like, oh no, I have to tell this story because it is something big. It doesn't happen in Mexico that often, to be honest. But when it happens, I'm not saying that people in prison they don't have weapons like that. But what I'm saying is, it does not happen as often. Like there's a shootout behind prison walls, right? It doesn't happen as often. And when it happens, it's like, what's going on with the government? What they're doing? Look how the inmates are acting, and basically they own that place. They own the place. I don't wish. I mean, just being in that prison, in that shootout, not only as an employee but as an inmate, that's a scary situation, man. That's a scary situation. You could be in a building that is supposedly run by a certain faction. So if the other faction just happened to be like, you know what, let's take all these individuals out, they start going to that building and taking out every individual right there, you are guilty just for being in that building by association. That is a scary situation, man. And that actually help us understand how lucky a lot of people are that are locked up in the U.S. prison. Because you can call it whatever you want to call it, right? We can call it it's going downhill. We can say whatever we want to say. Not only California, but different states, right? Right now in Arizona, the thing is popping. A lot of violence and a lot of videos that have been uploaded. But at the end of the day, trust me, nothing can compare to a prison in Mexico. And this is proof right here, you know? So with this being said, hopefully you like this story, man. I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought I should bring you this news. And with this being said, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe to the channel, man. Support the channel, which I do highly appreciate it. To the next video. Gracias.